Welcome everybody to DFW Link, where we link you in with all entrepreneurs and small business owners within the DFW area and a little bit outside too. We're here with it's me and Sacred Sauce, of course, the usuals, and we also have a guest. And I'm gonna let Sacred Sauce actually introduce him this time, because I'm always introducing people. Sacred Sauce, how about you take this one?
All right, so today, rubs hands like Birdman. We've got Bambata. How do you pronounce your last name?
Tyehimba.
Tyehimba. Yeah. All right, cool. Tyehimba. So first, who are you?
I am Bambata Tyehimba. How can I describe who am I? I'm an entrepreneur, revolutionary, educator, father, son, role model, friend. I'm a lot of different things.
All right. So tell me something. Where are you from?
From Africa.
Okay.
Day one, but I was born in Dallas.
Born in Dallas.
But I refer to myself as an African.
Okay. Now, does your name have any specific meaning?
Yeah, so Bambata means what was lost on the battlefield can only be regained on the battlefield. It's a South African name from the Zulu Nation. I was named after a revolutionary named Bambata. He fought against the British, and they eventually cut his head off. You know what I'm saying? So before they cut his head off, though, he said, what was lost on the battlefield can only be regained on the battlefield. Basically meaning, wherever you lost something at, that's where you're going to go get it back at. Like, you can't, get your candy took from you and go try to play a video game and get it back. Like, you got to go get it wherever you lost it, so.
That's deep for all of y'all that went over y'all's heads.
Mm-hmm.
So basically you go back to the roots of everything.
Back to the beginning, yeah. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with anything in life, you got to deal with mathematics. 1 + 1 is 2.
Right.
It's not 3, so you always start with the beginning, and what was in the beginning is going to be in the end. It's no gray areas like right, wrong. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah.
So is that kind of how you actually start your business, by actually going back to your roots and then just accumulating the will to actually start your own business?
Yeah, facts, man. So, growing up inside of the Pan-African connection, I seen my parents struggle, build their business from the ground up, brick by brick. And those experiences as a young child influenced me to what I'm doing now, to basically take what my parents taught me and take it to a whole nother level. So definitely, man. And first thing first is the culture. That's where I get most of my inspiration from, the culture of our people, mm-hmm. where we come from, and where we're going as well.
Okay. So, with, like you said, your upbringing being heavily, focused from your parents, mm-hmm. and seeing them build Pan-African connection out here in Oak Cliff, do you think that made you the entrepreneur you are now, in a sense where you incorporate your history and who you really are and your heritage from your parents as well into your business?
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of the reason why I operate outside of the Pan-African. Like, I could easily go get a storefront anywhere in Dallas or, anywhere. But therefore, I set up inside of my parents' bookstore is because I want to bring my customers to their culture. Some people who might not ever, want to learn about who they are, stuff like that. With the YK1K brand, we got all type of different customers. So therefore, I use the YK1K as a way to bring people in. And once they come in the shop, they might not have interest in, seeing who they are, learning about their culture, but it's going to be in their face, whether they like it or not. So it's a military tactic. I want to bait people in to subliminally teach them who they are. Spoon feed them slowly and slowly and slowly until one day they're going to come in the shop for the 10th time and be like, you know what, let me pick up this book by Malcolm X, or let me look at this statue or learn about this Dinka symbol, So it's like a military tactic to slowly wake our people up.
Wow. I must say that's pretty interesting. I was actually going to ask you that. I've seen you in passing over the years and noticed your brand and things like that. And by being in the space and spending time, I do notice I see a lot more of our people who weren't there before, or who you wouldn't necessarily look at if you're judging and say, hey, they know about themselves or they know their culture or whatever. But you're seeing more people into the store and learning more and asking more questions. It is building the community in a sense.
Yeah, and it's like a sense of entitlement, man. People come in the shop and they're excited. Like, they're like, I'm going to the African shop to buy some YK, 1K. Like, I hear I hear it in their voice, like, man, I'm so happy to go to the African shop. And it's just it's a good feeling, man, waking our people up and like I said, slowly hearing them awaking in a sense.
But I like the idea that you are drawing all types of people.
Right.
And the way that you're doing it is actually a smart tactic, because who loves sports?
Everybody.
Exactly.
Right.
And from what I've seen on your website, it seems like it's a lot of sporty attire. Mm-hmm. So that's a great way to draw in anybody to come out and find out about, our heritage.
No, facts. And that was one of my my strategies back in about 2020. Mm-hmm. We started pushing a lot of basketball athletic shorts. And like you said, brother, everybody loves some type of sports team. It don't matter who you are. Mm-hmm. You're a fan of an athlete or a team. So therefore, I thought, how can I somehow, some way get to these people through something they can relate to? So I said, you know what, I'm going to push these shorts.
Right.
And like I said, the shorts brought people to the culture. It brought people towards the brand. It brought people towards the whole, the goal. So therefore, that was a very strategic move with me and my team. We was like, we're going to attack what they know.
Right.
And teach them more, you know what I'm saying? So it's been a journey for sure.
So before you even had that thought to, use that tactic, did you actually play sports yourself?
Yeah, I played sports my whole life. I even played college football for 2 years. So, I was one of them guys thinking I'm going to go play professional football. Mm-hmm. I was a pretty good athlete in high school, track, basketball, everything. So sports was a big part of my life.
Right.
So that's how I'm able to relate to the whole sports scene, because I actually played blood, sweat, and tears, as a young, especially coming up in Dallas. It's heavy on sports.
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely played some ball. Yeah, football, all that.
Man, that's crazy. What position?
I played a little quarterback, a little free safety. I was always just I say this, man, I was always quick. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I always was quick and athletic. I don't know how, like, it's just raw.
Right.
We was, something I always been able to do is just be quick and athletic, man. But I played a little defense, a little offense, a little bit of everything. I played every position on the field. And then throughout my career, I done started at every position on the field. So it's like, I tell people all the time, man, I got like a gift where anything I put my mind to, I can do it. It don't matter what it is. Like, I can say, you know what, I'm going to go out here and be a barber. I'm going to go out here and be a master, landscaper. Like, it's nothing I can't do. And that's what I challenge myself every day, man. How can you do something different today that you didn't do yesterday? So, man, you got to believe in yourself, because you never know what you can't do.
Yeah.
Right.
And even the positions that you name, those are like leadership positions.
Right.
A lot of people that have played quarterback or middle linebacker or safeties, these are the positions where they call out different plays.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like the people that played these positions, it transpires in life, and they're actually being leaders in other things. 'Cause I can actually say I played quarterback too.
Right. Okay. Where'd you play at?
I played for James Bowie.
Okay.
And I also played semi-pro in the EFL league in Dallas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for the Dallas Bulldogs.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, and I started.
Oh, wow.
The 2 games before I got hurt.
Yeah,
but it just goes to show you that leadership, it goes in everything.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you do. And we see a lot of that in you just off seeing your website and just seeing you on social media, and now actually meeting you in person. Right. You're doing a wonderful job, and I just want to commend you and keep going, my brother.
Man, I appreciate that. And a lot of that came from being the oldest. So it's 3 of us. It's me, my oldest sister, Adjua, and my younger brother, Sekou. So I'm the oldest son in the family. So it was a lot of responsibility put on me. I felt like, to be the man, and to be strong and be smart at the same time. Right. So a lot of that was instilled in me as a youngin', just coming up, especially with my pops being who he was. I kind of felt like off the movie The Lion King. Like my pops, he passed away in 2012. So that's one of my favorite movies, matter of fact. So let's just say my pops is Mufasa, I'm Simba. Like when Mufasa left, Simba had to be thrusted into being the king, but he wasn't ready. It took some trials and tribulations, took for him to go away and come back, after going through so much and after, having no other choice but to be the king up, he became who his father wanted him to be. So that's kind of like how I feel like my life has been. Like my pops being this great person, he started the Pan-African, started it from nothing, pushing culture on people in Dallas since 1980s and stuff like that. So it's like, it's always been a lot of pressure on me. I don't speak on it, but it's always a lot of pressure on me. Every day I feel it. When I walk into that Pan-African connection, something that my father built, I feel him. Right. I feel the pressure. Like people say, you look just like your dad. Like stuff like that motivate me. Right. Because my pops always told me, don't be like me, be better than me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I instill into my son. I got a 6-year-old, he just turned 6. So it's like that same pressure that was instilled on me, it forced me to be great. Like I gotta be great. Like I gotta sacrifice myself for everything I believe in, for my people, for the culture, and I gotta be great, man. So we gotta instill those type of qualities in all our children. Like everybody should feel that type of pressure. Yes. To be great, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's gonna take time, but eventually we'll get to it.
Speaking about the Lion King situation, trials and tribulations. Right. What kind of trials and tribulations have you went through in the process of developing your own business?
Man, every day, it's trials and tribulations every day, man. One of them is, finding good help. It's hard to find good employees, man. That's one thing I'm learning. That's why I kind of realized, like, we working in the family business, growing up in one, we had very few employees. And that's because it's hard to trust people with your business. Like, nobody's going to get on this podcast and do it like y'all. It's like, cause it's yours. Right. So that's one trial and tribulation, just trying to find, good workers, good employees. Man, I look at it like I said, I like challenges, bro. When I see a challenge, I figure out, instead of look, oh man, it's a problem, I'm thinking, oh, how can I solve this problem? Like, so, it's like a math problem, man. Like I said, 1 + 1 is 2. When I see something go wrong, I'm trying to figure out how I can make it make sense. So like, let's just say, I get some product in, it's not right. So instead of looking at, oh man, this product is messed up, I'm thinking about, how can I spin this and still move it? You know what I'm saying? How can I maneuver around this situation? So I don't look at, trials and tribulations. It's all a learning experience. It's always a challenge.
That's inspiring. You really gave us a lot of gems as to, what's needed to be an entrepreneur. Because a lot of us, like we know with social media, we see people owning businesses and we don't see the sweat that goes into it, right, or just the mindset.
Yeah, and that's one thing I see a lot of businesses on social media. They look pretty, they look fun, but they don't last too long. 2-3 years go by and then it's like, hey, we're closing up to a new venture. And I'm like, man, I've been at this for 10 years, 10, 12 years almost. So it's like, don't get caught up in the hype. Don't be thinking, we're going to blow up overnight. We're going to make this amount of money. Like, nah. Like, I wake up every day not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. All I could do is put in the work today and have faith that tomorrow the results are going to show. Like, you can't think, okay, bet I'm going to do this tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every day is different. All you could do is worry about right now and keep working. Like I tell people, it's like a marathon. You got to keep taking steps. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever stop. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say you stop at the marathon, you're never going to finish. You know what I'm saying? It's a long run. It's a long journey, being an entrepreneur. So you just got to keep going, keep your head up, and, be realistic. But at the same time, man, just don't ever stop.
Well, now that we have that little bit of insight for what it means to be an entrepreneur, at least from Bambata's perspective, I'm going to go ahead and take us on a break. That way we can pay our bills and keep the show going. Gotcha. We'll see y'all later.
I've been on the road, I've been doing shows. Now we eating steak, remember sleeping on the floor. We're still at the gas station when the time was cold.
And we're back. All right, so, on break, before break, we were talking about what it takes to be an entrepreneur and just the mindset and all that good stuff. And on break, we were just talking about the consistency. And just like you said, not everybody believes the hustle. They want to see the sweat, but they want to see the outcome.
Right.
I think that is very inspiring, at least for you to be sitting right here in front of me, because as I said, we've crossed paths, a few times, but hadn't really actually spoken. Mm-hmm. So I could only see from the outside looking in what it looks like. I didn't know you had been doing this for, over 5-10 years. Mm-hmm. I had just recently, maybe over the past 4 years, three or 4 years, had seen your brand. And over the past 2 years, I will say, it shows. The work shows. I saw your business page go from a few thousand likes or follows to what is like 30 something, right, yeah. 32,000 follows. So not just the follows, but even the love that you're getting when you pop up at events, when you're promoting, you got people flying out here to pick stuff up. And I support that.
Man, appreciate it.
Well, this interview is going very, very smoothly. One thing we love about this podcast is we try to get genuine people up here, people that actually have a passion for what they do and goals. And it seems like you have a lot of those. So speaking of goals, do you have any goals for your future for this business?
Man, so we're gonna keep going steady with the brand, keep, being innovative, doing new things. But I do want to become one of the most, successful, hyped streetwear brands, not just in Dallas, not just in Texas, but in the whole world. And I want to be up there with the likes of like Bape, Supreme, V-Long, so we chasing greatness, man. That's why I tell cats all the time, like, it's bigger than just a clothing line. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not competing with my peers. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm competing with myself to become the best, have the best brand I can have, man, personally. So, man, we shooting for the stars, man. And like I said, I'm dedicating my life to this. I'm dedicating everything I have because I seen what that can do. I seen my pops, my mom dedicate everything they have for a cause. And like I said, my pops been gone 10 years now. Mm-hmm. But guess what? He still has a storefront. He still has influence. So therefore, I seen what dedication can do. So therefore, we're in a whole different world, a whole different, technology, all that. So I'm going to take it further. I got way more resources than my pops had. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, we're going to take it as far as we can.
So where did the idea for Young Kings clothing? I know you said it's not just a clothing brand, right, but where did that idea come from? And explain a little bit where the YK1K means.
Man, so I went to college at Tennessee State. Like I told the brother earlier, I played a little ball. So I ended up getting hurt my sophomore year. And coach told me, man, go home, man. Go home. Go back to Texas. I'm like, Coach, what you mean? I done came out here all the way to Tennessee thinking I'm finna be this football player. You tell me because I'm hurt to go home. So that hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. I went back to my dorm. I shed tears, I'm thinking, what am I about to do? What's about to happen, man? But guess what? I resulted back to my God-given gifts, the things that I have inside of me, which was being a business owner. So, one day I'm listening to a Meek Mill song called Young Kings. Young Kings, we've been rolling with some Young Kings. And, people always wanted to buy the stuff I wore. Even in college, I wear stuff from Dallas from the shop, like Malcolm X crew necks, necklaces, fist necklaces. People always wanted to buy it off me. So I'm like, this is before, and mind you, this is back in 2011, 2012, before having a clothing line was trendy. Now it's trendy. Mm-hmm. Everybody's popping up with clothing line.
Everybody got a drop ship.
Right. Everybody has a brand nowadays, which is good. We need more of that, honestly. We need more of it. We need more people to support it. But this is way back before it was popular, man. It's when everybody was big on that designer, like tough. So, man, long story short, we listened to Meek Mills. We called the brand Young Kings. We started with some T-shirts. So we were looking for a way to, you know, universalize the brand. You know, we wanted women. A lot of women didn't like putting Young Kings on their, you know, wearing something that said Young Kings because it was kind of like, you know, confusing. So me and the team, we thought like, hey, how can we make this universal to where women could wear it or anybody could wear it without it being, you know, Young Kings, Young Kings, Young Kings. So we called it YK1K, Young Kings 1000. You know, the 1000 comes from keeping it more than 100, you know, being true to yourself, being true to everybody else, being honest, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody say you keep it in 1000 with them, it's like the utmost, like loyalty, you know, the realest you could get. So therefore, YK1K became the, you know, abbreviation for Young Kings Clothing, YK1K.
I could definitely feel that, man. And then the design, the type of font that y'all chose is it represents everything.
Man, that's crazy. We got that designed in LA. It was like, it was so dope, man. It's like, that's why I say like a lot of stuff, bro, you just got to put the work in, because if you put the work in, the right thing's gonna happen. Like I had no idea I was gonna run into a black man made that. Like it all just fall into place. That's why I say you just gotta be disciplined.
Right.
Like that's a lot. That's one. Oh, that's one trial tribulation, man. Discipline.
Yeah.
Like that's how you get further, man. Like especially us being young black men, you know, we gotta be disciplined, man. You got a lot of different variables coming at you at all times, you know, stuff like that, man. So, man, just stay disciplined, man, and keep working and good things come to you. But I just want to talk about our crown logo. Like I don't know if y'all seen it, but it's like a crown that says YK1K.
Yes, I like that.
Like it's so dope. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people look at it like, that says YK1K. Like if we would have called the brand anything else, it wouldn't be able to make that crown.
Right.
It'll look crazy. Like, but the way the letters and numbers are aligned, it's a YK1K crown. So that's what I'm saying. It's like meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were patient.
Right.
You know, and I'm guessing, did the guy offer just out of the blue to do it?
Man, so we were in LA, man. It's a crazy story. So, man, I don't know if y'all been to Cali. Y'all been to Cali before?
Yes, I have. I've lived there.
I want to.
Okay, so you know, like LA is like an opportunist type of city. It's not personal. Everybody trying to see, how can I take advantage of him, her.
It's the culture.
Yeah, it's the culture. It's like, how can I get a piece of the pie from everything? So we did some work with Kodak back in like 2016. I flew out to Miami, gave Kodak a custom jacket, whatever. Basically, I flew to LA. My Uber driver just so happened to be in the clothing industry. He asked me about my brand, and the first thing he seen was Kodak. So he, you know, brought me in the door thinking, oh, I'm finna use me to get the Kodak. And you know, me being from Dallas, I'm like, man, we gonna play chess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, basically I just finagled my way through different doors, man, and through the work I've done, my portfolio, and you know, I bumped into a designer. It's a, you know, professional designer. He did all type of big companies, logos, stuff like that. But he did my logo for a really good price. And he gave me the rights to it. So it's like, to this day, he still hit me up, be like, hey man, I should have, you know, did something different. But he didn't know.
He was only seeing the short-term gain, at least in that moment. And that's really big as an entrepreneur, to acknowledge that, you know, a lot of us, they want to say clout chase this, clout chase that. But there's a difference between clout chasing and then utilizing the resources that are put in front of you to elevate yourself and your community. Right.
So yeah, it was just crazy, man, how it all falls into place, man. And I think it's really just, you know, our ancestors, is the higher power, God, whatever, you know, you believe in, man. I think energy is real, so you got to definitely be disciplined, because if you're not disciplined, the ancestors know. Yeah. They know if you out here not handling your business. They know you being disrespectful to your elders, stuff like that. They ain't gonna bless you. You know what I'm saying? So be disciplined.
And all your ancestors looking at you on sculptures every day at work. Looking at you in your eyes. I tell people that all the time. Like, those statues are alive. The reason why I say that is they made out of trees. They are.
And trees are living. And so, you know, energy doesn't die. It's only, you know, transferred.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely some energy in that shop every day.
This man right here is definitely disciplined. He said, I can only get in on this day. I work every other day.
Man, and it's like it's crazy. I always wanted to be like that though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always wanted to be super busy to the point where it's like it's a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's be times before all this, probably like 7 years ago, like I just have so much time on my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I just want to be so busy. I want my phone to be blowing up. I want people to be emailing me, asking, you know what I'm saying? So the power of the mind's not a joke. Like I asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the ancestors gave it to me. And they're going to continue giving it to me as long as I'm disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing we got to do, stay disciplined.
Well, I'm trying to be disciplined, and I keep asking for more money. So in order to do that, we're going to have to go to a commercial break. We'll be back with more.
All right, we're back. So we talked, a little bit about where your inspiration kind of comes from and your family and your trials and tribulations. Tell me more about the projects you've worked on. I see on your social media you do a lot of traveling, going around to the colleges, and you have some high school stuff on there. How did that get started?
Man, so this year was our first time doing a full college tour. Then we did about almost 50 different pop-ups between now since September. So this was our first year just, attacking, the colleges at this type of level. I was reading a book called The 10 Times Rule. I don't know if y'all read that.
No, but I'm going to put it in my notes.
It's called The 10 Times Rule. And one thing I got from that book was being omnipresent, meaning being in multiple places at once. McDonald's does it, Walmart does it. As a business, you got to be omnipresent. You got to be able to be here, there at the same time. So that was one of my strategies for this year, man. So I built up a team, and we hit multiple schools on every weekend, and it worked out. We got a huge how can I say this? We got more customers, more brand acknowledgement, awareness. And it was good, man. But the high schools, we right here in Dallas, so we're going to hit them regardless. And I think colleges and high schools are the route you should go when you have a brand, because you're attacking the youth. Like, when I think about my brand, okay, my peers, my friends, they're not going to support me enough to where I need to get where I need to be. So therefore, who am I going to attack? I'm going to attack the kids, the people who are going to be here for another 10 more years, buying clothes at a high level. So when you attack the youth, it gives whatever you have going, a brand, podcast, a restaurant. When you attack the youth, it gives you longevity. So you got to constantly attack the youth, constantly.
It definitely sounds like you utilized, your involvement in the community into your business and how you operate. Like you said, you have to attack the youth. And a lot of times our family, our friends, they don't, they're not purchasing or promoting sometimes at the level in which we want to be. And so you cannot depend on only what you know or the people you know.
Yeah, and I used to take it personal when my family, like my cousins, my aunties, and my close family didn't support me. Like, even to this day, like they don't, people, they'll see me all the time. They know I'm selling clothes, but they don't just support off real. But it's okay, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta look past that, because if you got a real brand, you realize it's deeper than just personal. Ain't nothing personal. It's all business. Everything you doing is business. So you can't take nothing personal when it comes to business. You gotta, if you take things personal, you're gonna forever be in your feelings. In business, it ain't no feelings. It's it's
business.
It's a bottom
business
line. You gotta make sales. You gotta turn stuff around. So
I gotta get out of my feelings.
Yeah, man.
I felt like that, a lot of people, I tell people all the time, at least 2% of the people that I grew up with support me.
Man, it's
2%.
2%, yeah.
Well, when I say support, I mean like actually booking with me.
and paying full price.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not like, what's up with the hookup, none of that. Like,
Until they see everyone else wearing it.
Exactly.
I tell people all the time, like, I moved, like I said, I went to LA. I moved to LA for about 2 years. And when I took the brand away from Dallas, that's when they started supporting it more. Yeah. So sometimes you got to take whatever you got going, and even if you don't leave, make it seem bigger than just Dallas.
Right.
Like, don't even push it towards Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Or wherever you at, push it outside, and then eventually it's going to have like a flooding effect. It's going to eventually sink back in, and the people who there are going to get wet. You know,
so everybody in between gonna get it.
Everybody, you got to think bigger than where you at, man. Because this thing about if you only focus on this little piece, you're gonna get that piece eventually. But that energy you use trying to focus on that little piece, you could have been using that to get more pieces. You know what I'm saying? So I like working from the outside in. You know what I'm saying?
Dang. Man, I guess we need to change our name. It shouldn't be DFW.
I was thinking about that because I'm like, Bambata, let's ask you,
right.
Do you think Dallas supports Dallas?
Man, Dallas is weird. Dallas do support. I mean, I get a lot of support from the city for sure. But, going to different cities, like let's go to Atlanta, you got black businesses, they're thriving. You got, even in the hood, you might have like a brunch spot in the hood. It's a line outside the door. You go to Dallas, you go to the hood. It's not too many, restaurants. It ain't that type of culture where people waiting in line outside, and they might be waiting in line, a couple spots downtown, but like in the outside, in the trenches, like in the hood, it ain't that type of culture, man. So we do need to support each other more.
Right.
Here in Dallas. Like, it's support. Like, yeah, it's a lot of support, but we need more support. Before you go run and give your money to North Park Mall or to Morton's or Cheesecake Factory, wherever, man, go support somebody else. Go support your people first. That should be our first mindset. Let's go spend with us first, and then maybe go do something else with somebody else. But we gotta touch each other first.
Yeah, I have a sort of like a thing I do. Anytime I need something, I'll think like, let's say I need deodorant.
Right.
First thing that comes to mind is there anybody in my community that I know of that sells some deodorant? And usually I will drive from the other side of town and go to Pack because I know I can get, certain things there, the quality and what it is, even just from the small businesses. So you are definitely right. Yeah,
because we could, like I said, we're not competing with each other. Like, even if we, support each other full-fledged, like the odds are still against us.
Yeah.
Like, you still got to compete with Walmart. It's like, even us at the Pan African, we're competing with like people like Barnes and Nobles or Amazon.
Right.
So it's like it's an ongoing fight. So therefore, we got to keep supporting each other to eventually, it's gonna work out. But y'all support each other, please.
Yeah, I hear that. Support each other. But in the meantime, also put your heart into what you do. Right. It's not just all about the money. You put your heart into whatever you're doing, and like my man said, you be patient, have good discipline. Hey, the flower will blossom.
Yeah, because it's like, people, if you're doing it for the money, man, you're not gonna win. Like, you got to do it for the art, do it for the craft. Like, get it to the point where people want your work, no matter what. Like, it's not about the money. Like, with me, I don't wake up every day thinking I'm gonna make $100 a day. Like, right. I wake up every day thinking, how can I perfect my craft to where people want this from all over the world?
It's about the intentions.
Right, it's the intentions, man. So when people come up and they shop with me, they're happy to shop with me. They're not just, they be want to give me extra money sometimes, but that's the type of attitude we gotta have, man. Like, we gotta be ready to support art. Because in the day, what's money? It's just some paper. You trading money for time. You trading money for
a skill, something.
Yeah. So it's like, that's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, oh, you got some money. Like, nah, like, it's a piece of paper that you use to barter. You know what I'm saying? And influence. So you got to definitely know the power of money overall. Do
you foresee your brand collaborating? After hearing you talk about the experience venturing out into LA, do you see yourself collaborating with any other designers or anything like that? Yeah, definitely. I'm open to collaborating. I love working with other people. So yeah, definitely in the near future, I can see myself collaborating with different brands. I'm not afraid to work with anybody. Like, I want to work with the biggest or the smallest. Like, as long as
I was telling myself this today, talking to myself. I was like, it's the fourth quarter. You know, we in December. It's like we in motion. Like we're fully in motion. Like we're running the plays. We playing. So it's like, if you want to work together, you got to come with full thought, full motion. Like half thought, half motion. Like that's one thing I would never do. Like I'd never come to somebody with a half idea, because I realized the importance of time. Like you don't ever want to waste nobody's time, because that's the like, when I look at life, that's one of the things I regret. Like some of the times I wasted. Sometimes I was scared to do something and I didn't do it. Like regret will eat you up. So therefore, man, hey, if y'all want to work together, come with a complete game plan and understand it's gonna take time to do it. Like nothing, I don't want to rush anything. Like we on, you know, let's take our time. We ain't gonna ever force it, and we're not gonna be greedy. You know, a lot of times people be greedy. I'm gonna do this now. Like, nah, slow down.
Then you're not able to be, again, intentional with the people you sign contracts with. Because a lot of times, you know, people just move just because the opportunity presents itself, and it may not be in alignment with where you foresee your business going, and then years later you're like, oh, that's not really what I want my brand to be representing.
And I do have a few collaborations I'm doing right now. Like I have a collaboration with SMU. That's a college, one of the only colleges we have in Dallas, as well as, you know, probably about 10 to 12 HBCUs that I'm licensed with, who I sell merchandise for. I'm working on one right now with University of Houston basketball. I'm already licensed with the University of Houston, but I'm working on a collaboration with the basketball team. So I'm doing a lot of collaborations now, and I can only see it getting bigger, because what I learned, like I told y'all earlier, it's all about work. And if you put the work in and have faith, it's going to turn into something bigger. It will. Like I can see myself working with Nike, Under Armour, stuff like that. Like it's all a chess move. So I look at who these colleges, like let's say SMU is getting Nike. So I think, okay, bet if I keep working with SMU, eventually Nike's going to see what I'm doing, and they're going to be like, oh, who is this guy?
Right.
And eventually they're going to reach out. But you got to have faith that one day that might happen. So it ain't gonna happen tomorrow. It might not happen next year. It might not happen for 10 years. But if you just keep putting in the work, they have no choice but to see you. And eventually they're gonna acknowledge you. And right now we gotta use, you know, what we got, you know, to our favor. Like even with SMU, I told them this during COVID, this during, you know, the George Floyd, this when all, you know, they was like, hey, we want to work with, you know what I'm saying? So I used that to my advantage. Like, hey, I'm a minority, young black business owner. Like, let's work together. They're not going to tell you no.
Yeah, they don't want that coming back up.
Right, it's a chess move, bro. So now we done infiltrated the system, and when they look at us like family,
Right.
like we down there in Highland Park, it's YK1K, Young Kings, like big banners and stuff like that, man. So you got to be willing to work with people too, man. Like you just said, you got to know how to talk. See me, I'm in the hood every day, but guess what? I could quickly switch it. Boom. I could talk to a doctor, a lawyer, anybody, you know. So you gotta always be versatile and understand that it's not just one way, you know, it's multiple ways.
Yeah, we heard a lot of that too in the last interview, remember?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, it's not talking like white people or anything like that. It's just, you know, being professional in a certain, you know, instance, you know. If you're around your friends, I mean, yeah, you can talk like you talk on the streets, but when it comes to business meetings, you have to put on that professional hat.
Yeah, it's communication.
Exactly.
You know, and a lot of communication is body language as well. Like, my pops always told me that, man, like, always watch somebody's body language. Like, if they're moving their hands in their pocket or something like that, they're lying. They can't look you in the eyes.
They shake with their left hand. Beware.
Oh man! Look. I see a young brother. I was at Jackson State, and this guy shook my hand. He tried to shake my hand with his left hand, and it threw me off. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
Like that shouldn't even be a natural motion. Like,
right.
You know, it's just the way I was raised. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like simple. Don't ever shake nobody hand with your left hand. But, you know, we got to teach the youth, because obviously he didn't know that.
Right.
So I told him, hey, brother, always shake people's hand with your right hand. Like, you know, don't ever reach out with your left, because it, you know, ain't no telling.
Was it his dominant hand, though?
Nah, he had his right hand ready. But I think he was just nervous.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like the way I walked in the room, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how you doing? He wasn't expecting that.
What you mean?
He's like, somebody speaking to me. Somebody actually trying to communicate with me. Like a lot of times, like you said, sister, some people don't know how to speak to each other.
That's true.
So it's like a foreign, foreign thing. So I think that's what it was. He was surprised that another brother was about to, hey, how you doing, brother? Instead of saying, instead of saying, oh, what's up, bro? Like that tough guy stuff. Like, nah, man, we play defense. We got to get rid of that tough guy aspect because at the end of the day, we all equal.
Yes.
No matter how strong or no matter how many guns you got or how tough you are, how good you can fight, we all equal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the goal is longevity. So it's like you got to let go of that tough guy mentality, man. It's about playing defense and being at peace. You know, so I always be strategic when you're dealing with people. Like speak, like, oh, it's a story I want to say. I'll never forget this story. So I'm in LA at this house party. Little old me. All types of celebrities there, man. You got ASAP Rocky, Tory Lanez, all type of just celebrities that, you know. So one thing I peeped out of ASAP Rocky, I'll never forget this. ASAP Rocky walked in the party kind of late, and he introduced himself to everybody. He walked around the whole room. It might have been about 50 people, I promise. He introduced himself to everybody as if they didn't know who he was. It's like, hey, how you doing? I'm ASAP, how you doing? And I learned from that. I'm like, no matter how big you get, when you walk in a room, introduce yourself to everybody. The reason why I say that because you never know who you're talking to. And you want to be humble. You don't never want to be that guy walking in the room with his head stuck up his butt. You always want to be humble, man. And that made me respect ASAP. Because I knew him from, social media and stuff like that. But just being in a room with him, he showed that, hey, we the same.
Yeah.
It don't matter how much money I got, how much popularity, like a man is a man. You know what I'm saying? So I always be humble when you walk in the room and introduce yourself, fellas. I always, pay homage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
y'all hear that? This is old school right here, because a lot of youth that I do meet, they don't live by these rules, and it's understandable too because they don't really have that leadership, the people in their lives to show them these things or teach them. We just got to do better, man, as a people.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I can relate with you on that. I was in a space where I was around a lot of different people and didn't know it. And we were at a bar or lounge in Deep Ellum, and I was just speaking. I walked in and I just introduced myself to people I didn't know. I usually go to this place, but I noticed there were people there I didn't know, and I'm just talking and go back over to my friends. They go, did you know you were just speaking to Kamasi Washington? I'm like, oh, really? They're like, yeah, he's a musician and all stuff. And I listen to his music, but you have to be humble, like you say, because people can pick up on if you're doing it just because you know who they are, or if you're actually genuine about the connection you're making.
Right.
But speaking about connections, we're going to have to connect to some more commercial break. Another commercial break. I'm sorry, y'all. Stay tuned. We're going to actually get into some information on how you can reach our special guest today, and et cetera, how to purchase his clothing and et cetera. So stay tuned and we'll be back.
All right, we are finally back. So we're at the point of the podcast interview where we're wrapping it up. We want to get a few basic but need to know questions answered. First of all, are you looking for any ambassadors? I know that's a common thing nowadays.
Right. I mean, I like to say this, man. Like, anybody could be an ambassador. Like, this might sound crazy, but I say just come shop. You know what I'm saying? And wear the clothes. And, if I see you got a big influence, then we might make it an official thing. But it's kind of like, man, just come support. Just come wear the merch. Like, I don't look at celebrities as, celebrities. I don't believe in none of that. I believe it's people. Like, if you want to support, do that. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, that brand ambassador become real trendy. Like, I'm a brand ambassador. Like, you got to have influence. Like, I tell people, like, you my homie, but like, how can you bring me more customers that I can't bring myself? So
Are your homies shopping with me?
Yeah, it's like, you shopping, but it's like, do you have influence? Like, influence is key. Like, you got a lot of people with followers, but that ain't real influence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know people who might have 100,000 followers, have an event, nobody show up.
That's so true.
So it's like, you got to have real deal influence.
Is there anyone that you've worked with so far that you feel that they've been an influence?
Yeah, man. I work with so many people, but who could I think about that just, so many people, man. Like, I could name drop so many names. Really everybody, the people, my people.
Okay.
Just us, man. Like, without the people, I won't be here today, right here talking. Like, so I really appreciate everybody who supports the brand in any type of way. If you follow us, if you just, bring our name up, even if you don't like us, what they say, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So even if you're talking bad about the brand or you're not happy, like, thank you. I appreciate all the love, all the hate, all the support. So thank y'all.
We want all of that promotion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I want to know if there's anybody you'd like to, shout out, any sponsors you have, anybody on your team that, has been there for you.
Man, first and foremost, I just want to take a step back from this interview and say thank you to you guys for inviting me out today. So shout out to y'all for giving me this opportunity to even, be on this type of platform. So shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the city of Dallas. Shout out to my people in Africa. Shout out to my people everywhere. Like I said, thank you for all the support, man. Like, we ain't going to forget. Like I said, we go colossal tomorrow. Like, I'm not going to forget the people who supported from day one. Like, it doesn't matter if you ever shot with me, as long as you came around. Like, if I know you and I know you, you know what I'm saying, support me and just say, hey, I'm rooting for that brother. Like, I appreciate you. So thank you to everybody.
And those are all the people in the back. Well, you welcome. We got you. So that people can support you more, tell us, do you have any upcoming events? I don't know, maybe a fashion show or anything coming up?
Man, you know what? Actually, we're having a big pop-up shop this Sunday from 12 to 5 at the Pan-African Connection. Sponsored by Duce. We got Duce coming out. We're going to have like some signature drinks like YK, 1K, 1000 Punch.
All right.
So we got Duce coming out, man. We got a big pop-up shop. I'm throwing deals. It's gonna be crazy, man. And this one I like to test my influence. So I'm gonna promote it for about a week, and I'm gonna see what it do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be big. I never had a bad pop-up shop, but sometimes it's like to test my influence. Like, what if I promote it for a day? Mm-hmm. People gonna pull up, but people pull up. So
they will. I've seen them pull up on spot.
Yeah. So it's been times like I feel like I had the biggest pop-up in Dallas history.
Wow.
Yes, like I had a pop-up shop maybe like a year or two ago. Man, we had about 200 people in line. It was a line wrapped around the Pan-African. It's like our first big pop-up. We promoted that one for about a month. And that one was crazy. So I said, man, I like doing this, but I can't keep doing it.
It was a lot.
Dealing with 200 people. So, what I'm saying? I'm going to promote it for about a week. Maybe, a couple hundred people show up. So we got a pop-up this weekend. You could find us on Instagram at Young Kings Clothing. You can shop online at YK1K LLC. As well as come to the Pan-African and, ask for Bambata. I'll take care of you.
I had another question about the event, too. Can other vendors be a part of it?
Not this one, but I want y'all to come. Like, come network, man. We don't have that much space, so I didn't want to just invite vendors, but I did say, hey, if you got a business, you got anything going, like, come out to the pop-up. Like, you never know who's gonna be there. Like,
right.
Sometimes rappers show up, or people come, and it's like people want to come to the Pan-African regardless. So you never know who you might meet. So I say, if you got a business, like, come, rub elbows with people.
Yeah, I definitely have to come. It's crazy because I have never set foot in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've only been on the outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I've been to a couple of shops in the area. And I've also did a photo shoot right out front where the Nipsey Hussle painting is. Yeah, so shout out to them, the two artists that actually did that.
What's his name? I can't remember his name.
I can't remember either, but I'm going to edit that in here.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. That was actually a dope painting.
Man, the crazy thing is Nipsey came to the shop.
Exactly.
He came to the shop like a month before he passed, and that's another memorable moment. Like, talking to Nipsey Nipsey passed me his gold card, like, looked me in my eyes, like it was a different type of level of respect.
Right.
So, man, that's crazy, man. Rest in peace to King Nip.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, y'all heard it here first at DFW Linked. We want to appreciate you again, my brother, for coming by and taking the time out of your day to tell everybody about your life, about your business, about your goals. Because we do know you inspired somebody today.
Man, appreciate it. Thank you.
So we wanted you to stay blessed. And everybody else out there, thank you, Sacred Sauce, for actually organizing this, as you do usually. But we have to give you a shout out. And shout out to everybody else that's listening. And until next time, you know the saying, peace and hair grease.